Alright boys, how's it going? It's the Lone Courier here. So I want to talk to you guys today about the new Sykov pistol that's been added into Modern Warfare or Warzone. It's been added into both games, so whatever one you play, it has kind of become pretty fucking problematic in both games. But for me personally, I don't really play much Warzone. I just haven't really meshed with it all that well since it came out. I have tried numerous times. I mean, there are times where I kind of enjoy it a little bit, but I never do too well on it, so I don't really bother playing it. But Modern Warfare has kind of become my thing recently. I played it a lot, which annoyingly I found out the night that I started playing Modern Warfare again was the night that they released the Sykov pistol. So my first few lobbies after they'd released the pistols, it wasn't bad at all actually. I encountered one or two people using it, but they didn't have it ranked up. There was no fully automatic barrels or anything like that going on. People didn't have Akimbo pistols. So it was just one Sykov. And one Sykov on its own when it's semi-automatic isn't bad at all, actually. I mean, it's a decent pistol, it's easy to use, but it's not more overpowered than anything else. You know, like, it's not stronger than 1911, and I was slapping this guy around using the deagle, because I got killed a few times by this guy, and I was like, right, you know what, pulling out my deagle, and I slapped the guy around for the rest of the game. But the next few games after that, because I kind of just jumped off because I had to get to bed early for work that night, so the next game day I jumped on, obviously that was more than enough time for everybody to have their guns fully ranked up, to have the Akimbos, the fully automatics, and yeah, it was rough. So there's been this dev error that's been happening a lot of Modern Warfare recently, and for some reason every other map wouldn't play. There was a handful of maps that would play, but for the most part it was only Shoot House and Shipment that were working. And Shoot House and Shipment are an absolute clusterfuck of constant Sykov fully automatic Akimbos going on right now. So if you actually want to enjoy your time playing Modern Warfare, I suggest that you just stay well away from this game right now, because it doesn't matter if you're playing Shoot House or Shipment. It is literally in every single lobby, on every single map, people are spamming this pistol. Which is why I want to talk about it today, because it's problematic. It is really fucking problematic, because the gun is just stupidly overpowered. Now, as I said, I don't really play much Warzone, but I've got a friend that plays a lot of Warzone. It's all he really plays, because he doesn't have Modern Warfare or Cold War, so that's his thing, Warzone. So I spoke to him about it, and I was just like, how are the pistols in Warzone? Are they overpowered in that as well? And he's told me that it has something like a 200 millisecond time to kill. And it was bad enough when he was complaining about the 300 odd millisecond time to kill when it was the FFAR meta, which is why I don't really play Warzone, because I just don't like how the meta changes all the time to just constantly overpowered weapons getting spammed, which is annoying because you get guys like JGod and all these other Warzone YouTubers that come out and they talk about broken overpowered classes. Well, I mean, I suppose everybody does it these days, but they talk about overpowered classes, and their whole disguise of it is, well, I'm just highlighting it to the developers so they can know what guns are overpowered and what guns need to be nerfed. But in my honest opinion and my experience from when I've played when these guns have been meta, because they've said that they're broken, it just turns out to be that for the next few weeks those guns just run absolutely rampant in every single lobby, and I just feel like sometimes these guns wouldn't have been as overpowered or as frequently used if these YouTubers wouldn't talk about them. Obviously, it's something that's never going to change, because the way to get most views in Call of Duty games is to talk about what guns are overpowered and to just say how overpowered this class setup is. You need to use this class setup on your gun, and everybody uses it, and next thing you know, that's all you're seeing in every single lobby, and it doesn't matter how far you are away, you're getting melted by these guns because they're super overpowered. Whenever it was the AUG, that got nerfed, it got changed to the M16 now. The FFAR is still pretty fucking dominant. And so far right now it's been the Sykov. Now, I haven't really used the Sykov in Warzone because I haven't played since it's dropped, because I don't want to play Warzone when the Sykov is running absolutely rampant, to be honest, because I run into enough issues with it on Modern Warfare multiplayer. You're watching some footage in the background on Shoot House, and you're just seeing how literally overpowered this gun is. Like, this thing melts you so fast, and the main thing that annoys me in multiplayer right now is the fact that you are going to get outgunned by a fucking pistol even while you're using an SMG that is considered overpowered, like the MP5. The MP5 gets absolutely railed by the Sykov right now, because the Sykov has fully automatic, the accuracy is actually pretty good. There's guys out here like Exclusive Ace that say, well, the accuracy is pretty bad on the Sykov. It's like, well, yeah, but that's when you're spraying it fully automatic and you're not trying to hold down the recoil or anything like that, because it's got a lot of vertical recoil, but you can control that recoil super easy. And I've not really used it at long range, but mid range it's still pretty dominant. So it just feels like it doesn't matter what gun you use right now, you're gonna have to use the Sykov if you want to do good in these lobbies. Like, MP5s get railed by them. The assault rifles have absolutely no chance, especially if you're using something a little bit heavier like the Scar. It's got absolutely no chance against the Sykov, and that is the most frustrating thing about this game. Now, I've seen a few people on Reddit so far complaining about the Sykov and just saying, oh, the Modern Warfare community is cancerous. I've actually heard one person say that. They were like, the Modern Warfare community is cancerous. They get an overpowered gun and they fucking use the shit out of it. And I was just kind of like, well, dude, like, go and just hold up a second, because that is just the Call of Duty community in general. It's not just the Modern Warfare community. So, take your minds back to Call of Duty 4, because I played a lot of Call of Duty 4 when it was in its prime. M16, red dot stopping power, mean anything to you guys? I mean, Modern Warfare Remastered was the same thing. M16 red dot stopping power, does that mean anything to you guys? Because that gun was overpowered. That would one burst people at a good range, and a lot of people seem to forget about that stuff. The MP40 from World at War, hello? Anybody remember these guns? You can't just say that the Sykov is overpowered and that's a problem with the Modern Warfare community because all they use is overpowered weapons. It's just a problem with the Call of Duty community in general. Doesn't matter what gun it is, doesn't matter what game it is, people will still use the overpowered shit, even years after the games are out of their life cycles. You go back and play the original COD 4, there will be a bunch of motherfuckers all spamming the M16 red dot, and I'm willing to bet that Modern Warfare Remastered is the same thing. Although last time I played it, it wasn't too bad with all these new guns getting added in, but for the most part I still saw a large amount of M16 red dots. Same thing with same thing with World at War, sorry. That's still got a lot of MP40s getting spammed in that game to this day, and it's just absolutely infuriating. I mean, Modern Warfare 2, it's hard to pinpoint one overpowered weapon in that game because most of the guns were pretty overpowered in that game. That was kind of just that game's thing. But quickly skimming through the rest of the guns in other games, you've got stuff like the FAMAS in Black Ops 1, the AK-74U in Black Ops 1 as well. Then you've just got all the overpowered guns for other games like Black Ops 3. You still play that game, you get slapped on constantly by XMCs and Breckies. And Black Ops 4, I'm not too sure what the overpowered guns are in that game, to be honest. There seems to be a large majority of guns that get used in that game. But it doesn't matter what Call of Duty game you go back and play, everybody just uses overpowered stuff. That's generally how the Call of Duty community tends to work. People just gravitate towards the stupidly overpowered weapons and the other ones don't really get used. It's just the way things are, like, honestly, don't get yourself pissed off and think, oh, this fucking community is an absolute joke, they will use anything that's overpowered, because every other Call of Duty game is the exact same thing. Like, I got sick of playing Cold War because everybody kept spamming the LC-10. That is my reason why I stopped playing Cold War recently, because I am fucking sick of getting slaughtered by the LC-10. No matter what gun I use, I always get dumped on by that gun. And it was just absolutely infuriating. I mean, the Stoner as well, like, oh my lord, like, that game just has so many broken weapons that have still not been nerfed. And they do get nerfed, and it's not nearly enough. Like, it's just the problem with all these games. They have overpowered guns, people find out what the overpowered guns are, and it's all they use. I mean, it kind of makes sense in a way, because if everyone else is using overpowered shit, then why are you going to use something that's not overpowered and put yourself at a disadvantage? Like, you're actively handicapping yourself, and you're going to do nothing else but just piss yourself off and get infuriated because you are not using a good enough gun. Or you're using a good enough gun, but it's just getting slapped around by these extremely dominant weapons. I mean, I can see why people use them so much, but obviously I can understand the sentiment of being pissed off because people just keep using overpowered guns. I mean, like, I find it quite annoying right now in Modern Warfare when you're trying to use something like the Scar or the AK-47 or any other weapon in the game. Doesn't matter what you're using, you're still going to get slapped around by this fucking pistol. And I mean, yeah, like, it is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, like, an 80 round magazine on a pistol, fully automatic barrel in combination with Akimbo. Like, I feel like the 80 round mag is just so extreme. Like, I mean, I don't know if that's something that you can really get on a pistol in real life, but it just makes absolutely no sense. And the movement penalties are not nearly enough for having an 80 round mag. Like, it has insane accuracy, especially when it's hip fired as well, because it's like, you've got fully automatic and you've got 80 round mags. Like, the amount of bullets you can put out in that space of time is absolutely insane. And it doesn't matter what you're going to use, you're going to just get hosed. And that's what's so frustrating about it. I mean, I can only imagine how bad it is in Warzone right now, but I really think these pistols need to get nerfed because it is just absolutely extreme how much they're getting used. It's like every lobby you're in right now, if it's a shoot house or shipment lobby, chances are people have got a riot shield on their back and they pull out their pistols immediately, and that's just how the game is right now. It's just absolutely insane. It's so hard to enjoy this game, especially when the things are working out like that. But yeah, I suppose that's how it's always going to work. If there's a new gun and it's strong, people are just going to gravitate towards that thing. So it's like, it's one of them where it's like you can't really complain too much, but at the same time when you see how these pistols actually are, yeah, you can complain because it's just absolutely stupid. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Leave your opinions in the comments below. Have you guys been playing a little bit of Modern Warfare recently? Because if you have experienced this absolute fucking flood of pistols, and it's annoying because they outmaneuver every other weapon and they out DPS pretty much every other weapon, because the amount of damage that those things can put out is absolutely ridiculous. But aye, I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good day, boys. Leave your opinions in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a wee like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day, boys. Peace.